In today's session, we will talk about systematic reviews, scoping reviews, and meta-analysis in how we use this methodology to synthesize social work research. Given the exponential growth of empirical literature, all these reviews serve as essential tools for clinicians and policymakers. Systematic reviews offer a very comprehensive and reproductive synthesis. Scoping reviews broaden the scope to include both qualitative and quantitative studies, and meta-analysis, statistically consolidated findings to deduce the efficacy of interventions. Together, they provide a robust framework for informing practice and policy decisions in the realm of social work. The challenge of information overload in social worker research is significant. So with the ever-increasing volume of publication, practitioners and policymakers find it increasingly difficult to find align with the latest findings. It happens same to social work researchers as well, because researchers publish articles a lot, maybe on average 10 to 20 articles every year. So you can imagine how many articles are published in the world every day. So also, contradictory research has an impact on results, and it is important to employ systematic methodologies to navigate through the vast sea of empirical literature, ensuring that decisions are based on the solid evidence rather than anecdotal or fragmental information. Empirical literature reviews plays an important role in research by synthesizing existing knowledge on a specific topic. The literature section in a paper just document previous knowledge on a particular topic. So we can talk about three types of review. The first is standard literature review. It is very common, but it suffers from bias. It lacks in methodological rigor and comprehensive literature search. This highlights the importance of systematic and scoping reviews. Both of them aim for objectivity, inclusiveness, and reproductivity, setting a higher standards for literature synthesis in social work. Systematic literature reviews stand as a cornerstone in evidence-based practice, meticulously analyze empirical research to guide clinical decisions. Unlike traditional reviews, they follow a strict protocol, including a well-defined question, inclusion of unpublished studies, and a systematic approach to information gathering and quality appraisal. This methodological rigor ensures the clarity and reliability of evidence, enabling practitioners to base their interventions on the most robust findings that are available. Another tab is scoping review. I have published a couple of scoping review. For example, the use of virtual reality for bystander intervention in sexual assault cases, and also the use of chatbot for health intervention. And also another paper is like the use of Twitter-based data for sexual assault research. Scoping review include both qualitative and quantitative studies that map out the extent, range, and nature of the research in a given area. This approach helps us to clarify key concepts, especially for the new area, and identify how research is conducted and highlight the knowledge gaps within the field based on the evidence collected from the searched articles. By comprehensively examining available evidence, scoping reviews facilitate a better understanding of complex issues, and the scoping review will give a future research direction in their paper, and that can inform practice and policy decisions. I would suggest you to search my paper, recently published paper last year. It's about Twitter-based data for sexual assault research. In that paper, for example, I have provided the number of articles that used Twitter data to examine sexual assault in regarding their nature, the prevalence risk, the risk factors, and all kinds of data, because it's an interdisciplinary research. And so for my paper, based on the evidence we collected from the searched article, I wrote sections about future research direction, like for how researchers use Twitter data for sexual assault research and how the existing evidence can inform practice. The last one is meta-analysis. This is a higher level or more in-depth analysis than systematic review because it provides a powerful statistical tool in the evidence-based social work. In a word, it involved statistical analysis. It combines multiple studies to offer a comprehensive measure of treatment efficacy. So the author need to integrate data from various contexts, settings, and population from the searched articles or reviewed articles. Meta-analysis serve a role to enhance the reliability of conclusions regarding intervention effectiveness because it provides the data. It uses the data from the reviewed articles. This approach accelerate the evidence gathering process, of course, and also amplify the impact of individual studies. Therefore, it contributes significantly to our understanding of what works in social work practice. So meta-analysis is more about RCT, experimental study analysis. Okay, well, systematic review and meta-analysis offer considerable benefits in synthesizing large data sets and improving the reliability of research outcomes. They also come with challenges. The significant investment of time, effort, and resources, along with the complexity of assessing unpublished or gray literature, underscores the need for meticulous planning and execution. This is really time-consuming project. So additionally, the potential for bias still exists. So it still requires transparency in the methodology to uphold the integrity of findings. So for example, our team, when we do the scoping review, we work with the library to do the comprehensive search, and it usually take us like a whole year from designing the research questions, search strategies, gather a team for the screening articles, pull up evidence, write up the paper. So it's usually like take more than a year, but like a regular paper, especially if we analyze data from surveys, like usually like take a month or two. So it reviews really takes time and effort and money. For one paper, I hired more than 10 research assistants for that paper because it does take a lot of time. This is like some knowledge or some names you should remember. The Cocaine and Campbell collaborations. They are nonprofits. You can check their website. They are their nonprofits in synthesizing research evidence to guide clinical and social intervention practice. So their work ensures the practitioners and policymakers have access to reliable, rigorous access evidence to inform their decisions. So I would suggest you to Google to remember their names and what are the difference between these two. This is an example of showing when you read a paper for the methodology sections, because this is one of the sources they use. Okay, in applying evidence and evaluating intervention effectiveness is crucial to synthesize research findings comprehensively. Social workers must consider the design's strengths and the clinical usefulness of studies, comparing statistics like effect size and p-values. This process involves not only understanding the evidence, but also translating it into actionable insights for client care, ensuring evidence can be used for interventions, and the interventions are tailored to meet individual needs and circumstances. This is a core principle of this course. So from a social worker's perspective, the applications of best available evidence needs a careful consideration of several factors. This is so important. Relevance to the client's situation, similarities between study participant and the client, and a cost-benefit analysis of potential harms are paramount. Additionally, assessing the feasibility of implementing the intervention within the agency's resources and expertise, and sometimes constraint. So this factor is also important. Understanding the client's perspective is still important when we apply evidence-based interventions. Social workers must effectively communicate with the advantages and drawbacks of the potential treatments, considering the client's preference, willingness to engage, and concerns such as social stigma or logistical challenges. The client-centered approach ensures the intervention are not only evidence-based, but also aligned with the client's values and life circumstances, which enhance the likelihood of success, of course. Okay, so after developing a plan of action with the client together, it's important to evaluate the intervention's effects. This evaluation can be conducted at both the practice and research levels, utilizing single case design, program evaluation, and more rigorous experimental design. Such assessment help ensure the intervention's efficacy and inform adjustment for improved outcomes, contributing to both individual client welfare and broader evidence-based practice. Okay, so for the following slides, this is relevant to your final paper. There's a section about how you are going to design an action plan to measure the effects of the intervention that you and your client work together, make the decision of. So after your client and you work together and make a decision about which intervention to go forward, you are going to do a small intervention and test effectiveness of the intervention on that particular client. The following slides will be very important as resources to help you complete the final project. So I would suggest you to refer to these slides when you complete the final paper. Okay, let's work on this together. So you can choose single case design. It offers a methodological framework for evaluating social work interventions within individual practice settings. By systematically assessing the effectiveness of treatments, social workers can ensure interventions meet their intended goals while identifying areas for improvement. Although not as rigorous as experimental studies like RCT, single case designs allows for the application of research principles in practice, facilitating the evaluation of new or innovative interventions. Okay, so there's a basic A-B design that you can use for your final paper, which I recommend. The basic A-B design allows for a clear comparison of client outcomes with and without treatment, offering insights into the intervention's effectiveness. Multiple components designs further enable the assessment of different interventions' relative efficacy, enhancing the precision and adaptability of the evidence-based practice. Reversal and withdrawal designs, including ABA and ABAB sequence, offer a deeper look into an intervention's efficacy. By alternating between treatment and no treatment phases, we can observe changes in clients' behavior or condition in response to the presence or absence of the intervention. These designs are particularly valuable for demonstrating the intervention's direct effects. Although they may not be suitable for the treatment, that treatment is expected to cause lasting changes or scenario where withdrawal is ethically questionable. Let's go deeper to talk about multiple baseline designs. This is more complicated. It provides a robust framework to assess interventions without the ethical dilemmas posed by withdrawal. So by observing multiple area cases or behavior over varying baseline periods before introducing the treatment, this design helps isolate the treatment effect from the time-related factors. The staggered introduction of the intervention allows for a comparative analysis across different contexts, enhancing the evidence for the intervention's effectiveness. Multiple component designs, such as ABA-CA sequence, allows for the evaluation of different intervention or treatment components within the same study. By comparing the effects of interventions B and C on a single case, researchers can ascertain which components are most effective. This design's flexibility is crucial for fine-tuning interventions, which provides a clear guidance on which elements contribute most significantly to positive outcomes. We just talked about a couple of slides, and the last several slides are a little bit difficult, so I would suggest you to keep it simple for your final paper. Okay, next move on to data collection analysis. Effective data collection analysis are important to monitor the progress of an intervention. Pre-treatment measures establish a baseline against which the client's progress is systematically tracked. Graphing this data over time allows practitioners to visualize trends and patterns, offering a clear depiction of the intervention's impact. This methodological approach supports informed decision-making and continuous improvement in clients' care. To continue, analyzing the visual patterns in the collected data provides valuable insights into the intervention's effectiveness. So key considerations includes like the immediate changes after the intervention and the magnitude of these changes or the clinical significance. So ensuring treatment fidelity and accounting for external influences are also essential for accurately interpreting data, enabling a holistic evaluation of the intervention's impact on the client's outcome. When we talk about data collection, you do not need to conduct the intervention and collect data for the final paper. So there's not necessary. You do not need to collect the data. The last part is single system study designs plays an important role in enhancing accountability, facilitating program evaluation and secure funding. So demonstrating the effectiveness of treatment through systematic inquiry not only advantage of clinical practice, but also contribute to the broader evidence base in social work. As certain interventions prove effective, the groundwork is laid for more extensive experimental trials, further enriching our understanding and application for evidence-based intervention. So this is the end of this week, and next week is our last week. We will talk about survey. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me.